Okay. Yeah, and then you can just follow along. And the docs in React Native are like pretty good too. So, because that's what we're going to be following for this. So yeah, we have Xcode installed. And then I'm going to go to the guides and environment setup. I think this is the hardest part of the guide, is like finding the guide. So you go to environment setup, set up the development environment, React Native. We want to select the React Native CLI quick start section. And then yeah, our development OS, we are using Macs, and our target like operating system for the phone is OS. If you wanted to on your own get it set up with Android, you can follow these instructions, but we just don't do that one, because that one you have to download Android Studio, and then that's like another, like Xcode's a huge package. Xcode's is like, I don't know, 30 gigs or something. Android's another big one, so don't want to like fill up your computer with like all these projects. But if you are interested in like mobile development, definitely get the Android one set up, because you'll want to do, that's one of the nice things about React Native, is you write your React Native project and it works for both Android and iOS. There might be some small things you have to do, differences, but it can be a lot better than, because your other option is you have an Android project that's written in like Java, and you have an iOS project that's like written in Swift. So those would be like two separate projects. You might even need two different teams of like developers who specialize in Kotlin and who specialize in iOS. I think that's one of the reasons React Native has become popular. It's just because there's a lot of React developers out there, and then you have one project for both your Android and iOS. Cool. So yes, sorry. So let's do Mac OS and then target iOS. That's iOS. So yeah, we have, so let's just go through these steps. We need Xcode, we have that. We have Node. Let's install Watchman. So I'm just going to open up iTerm. These. Doesn't really matter where you run these, but I'm just going to CD back into my DPL folder, or week9 is fine. But this one, you know, the brew install, you can run anywhere. This just installs it globally on my machine. Watchman. Or is it? Oh, that's MAN. Install Watchman. So this is saying if you already have Xcode, make sure your version of Xcode is 10 or newer. That should not be a problem with any of us, because if you just recently downloaded it, so I bet you're pretty close to being up to date. Cool. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to select command line tools. So open up Xcode, choose preferences, go to the locations panel, and then select the most recent version of command line tools. So go to Xcode, then on Xcode, the Xcode tab here, you have to like click the Xcode. You have to have Xcode open and like select it. And then you go here, Xcode preferences, the locations tab, and just make sure something's selected. It says the most recent version. You should probably only have one version. It might already probably be selected. Mine was. I actually haven't done any of this setup, so this is a new computer. So kind of going through this with you. All right. The next thing we're going to do is installing an iOS simulator in Xcode. Select the simulator. We can skip this step for now. But just to kind of show you, like, this is all like the simulators you can install. Now, so you can test different iOS versions. It's kind of maybe showing you how complicated testing can get. Like if you're testing a mobile device, like mobile phones, you might test like an iPhone 8 and an iPhone X and an iPhone 12 or whatever they are. And then you might also need to test different versions, because sometimes your app might break on a different version of the iOS. Or you might have you might have bugs that are phone specific and iOS specific. It's kind of like with the browser. You might have bugs that are browser specific and computer specific. But we'll just use the default. I think it like just launches by default. It's going to launch the newest iPhone with the most up-to-date iOS. And yeah, we don't want to download all of this because that's those are pretty big files. So we can skip that step. The next thing we're going to do is install Cocoapods. Cocoapods kind of like Yarn and gems. This is going to like do the iOS like third-party packages. So we're going to install Cocoapods. So just sudo gem install Cocoapods. Just run this anywhere in your terminal. Since that's a sudo command, you need your computer password. Cool. Okay, so React Native command line interface. So what this is saying, they're recommending we use npx. So we've talked about npm, yarn, and npm. npx is just another CLI tool. They want us to use that. So it just has a little different features that work out better with React Native. So this is the next command we're going to run. And like this is like essentially the setup. So it's really not that. I think the biggest pain of this setup is getting Xcode installed. So this command, npx react native init awesome project, this is the command to create a project. It's like the yarn create React app project name. So we run the command npx react native init, and then the name of that folder that it's going to create. So let's just run that. And so this one you would want to run in like your week 9 directory or somewhere where you want this folder to be created. So npx react native, and then the project name. So let's do like, I think this one, let's have it be capital app. Let's do first app, first React Native app. That's just the name of the project. Oh, and I need the init. Need to install the following packages. Oh, I guess I don't have it. Yep. So hit yes. And now this is going to start building. And just going back to like the issue Dennis was having, like, and why maybe like seeing all the different versions of iOS, like, you know, as a companies will at some point be like, okay, we're not going to have this app work on this version of an iOS, because at some point for the company, it gets too hard to test.
I'm actually, I just found out that like the Mac that I have, can't upgrade anything past Catalina, can't go to Big Sur or Monterey. So if I'm going to do any Xcode stuff, I'm going to have to figure something else out.
Okay, yeah, that.
Maybe it's time for a new computer. It's from 2012.
Yeah, there is, like I said, the Expo, there is like the online like sandbox. Wait, why does it say Cocoapods is not installed? Okay. I might have needed to like restart my terminal after installing Cocoapods, but I'll just reinstall it. Yeah, that can be yeah, that's another, so that's when like they'll have computers saying, hey, like we're not gonna like it. Oh man. Okay. I'm having an error installing Cocoapods, but I thought I did. So I'm just gonna quit iTerm. Open it back up. How old's your computer, Denny?
So I didn't foresee this being a problem because of the specs. My computer is actually mid 2012, but then the hardware was ripped out, so it got like upgraded, you know, terabytes and RAM. But the motherboard is still 2012, so it won't support anything over Catalina.
Yeah, that makes sense. They usually like, they're pretty good about like going back pretty far, but yeah, 2012 is.
I mean, that's like pre iPhone, like, you know, only 50% of the people had iPhones at that point. So
yeah. So yeah, and generally like the bigger your company you have, like the longer you can like maintain older stuff like teleperformance, like, and part of the reason like testing they maintained so far back as far as like devices is because they were cheap and they didn't want to buy new computers. So we were like maintaining our websites on like IE like 7 and 6. It's just god awful. All right. So yeah, I'm running into an error. What, did anyone else run into that error where they don't have Cocoapods?
Yeah, I did.
Cocoapods -v. Okay.
I'm still waiting for Watchman to finish.
Oh, really? Okay. How do I just want to Jim, which Cocoapods? Okay. I have it. Oh, maybe that's sudo. Let's see if there's a different one. Yeah, I mean, I have it. Okay. Maybe I just needed to. It's a weird one to have to. OLS. Okay. I'm going to do an rm-rf of that project since it didn't work. And I'm just going to recreate. So if I do an ls, it's gone. I'm just gonna try to recreate it, see if closing my terminal works. It's saying I mean, I do have a Cocoapods in here. So npx react. It first. App. Let's try recreating that. That's doing that. I'm just going to make sure I didn't skip any steps on here. What? Cocoapods is not installed.
I got the same error. Mine finally finished installing the native app, but I got the same error.
Did it not? I mean, I guess we can like just error. Oh wait, I don't want that. One gem installed. Okay, well, it said it installed something. Okay. That. Let's just try this. I mean, I guess it did install something. That's weird. Let's try it again. I just deleted that app. I'm going to recreate it. So I just reran that command. Sudo gem install Cocoapods. Let's see if that gets it. Mike, did yours actually complete?
I was getting the exact same stuff you did. So I haven't gotten it to work yet.
Try this with Homebrew. I'm trying it with the Homebrew. See if Homebrew does it better. I wonder if it's just not in the path. All right, well, I'm doing it with Homebrew. Let's see if that, I don't know why that would matter, but probably gonna download it somewhere else on my computer. Oh, you know what? I didn't actually quit iTerm. I just closed it. But well, I'll try this again. Seems like everyone's getting this.
Yeah, and I actually did quit iTerm and it still did that.
Okay. Okay, cool.
Yeah, I did the same thing, and then I tried it with Homebrew, and I still got failure.
Oh, it's still failed with Homebrew. Well, that's probably means mine gonna fail. All right. It's not installed.
Mine says that it installed Cocoapods using the Homebrew, but then the Cocoapods dependencies failed.
This.
It looks like mine worked.
Cool. Yeah. So yeah, mine, yeah, that went through on mine. That's still weird that it's not working with the because this is yeah, the next thing you should see is, you know, these instructions for Android, iOS. That is, I haven't seen that one before. Okay. But yeah, what we want to do is so we want to, what this is essentially saying, you know, CD into the project. I mean, this is giving the full path. We just need to CD into our app. CD into first RNA, React Native app. And then I can run this command. So if you've gotten this far, do that. And this, once again, is going to take a second. So if anyone, so Mike, are you still having issues even when you try to do it with Brew?
Yeah, it said the dependencies failed, but I tried quitting and I'm trying to install again to see if I can get it to work.
Okay.
I mean, I already quit once, but I'll try it again.
Anyone else having, so if you do get into that Cocoapods issue, try installing Cocoapods when you get that option to install with Brew. You can just hit like the down arrow. That's how that popped up. It just popped up. Give me those two options. But yeah, is anyone else? Is anyone, I know Ruby, you said you got here. Is anyone else got here? As far as like you were able to run like CD into this, like you saw these instructions and now you're building the app. Okay, name.
Mine's still installing the dependencies.
Okay, on the Cocoapods.
Yeah.
Okay. That seemed to take a while. And I think I do have good internet here. So mine might be going fast.
So I just tried it again, James, and I got the same thing where it's like Cocoapods is installed, but it says the Cocoapods dependencies is not installed.
Okay. Do you want to share your screen? You can look at that.
Sure. And this is after I've like quit, removed the project, quit again, gone back in, tried to recreate the project, and tried to use in Homebrew twice.
Okay. So yeah, let's try. So where it says, you know,
Manually?
CD. Yeah.
That
So,
one?
yeah. Well, just CD into React, or I don't know why it said dot. Yeah, just CD into there, and then into the now CD into iOS. Yeah, and pod install.
Oh my God.
Version 2.74 is not installed. I can't see that. What does that? Is that 3.2?
1.2.
Oh, do RBENV dash versions. So yeah, it looks like is it version? I forget what this is.
1.2.0. I feel like this is probably the same thing we're running into. I don't know what we were dealing with a while ago with the RBNV crap.
Well, this is saying, let's try this for you. I think what your React Native app is trying to use 2.7.4 for some reason. And you don't have that version. Let me see. Try doing this. Try opening this up in code, like CD back, and open this up in code. And just go delete that root. All right, let's look at your gem file. Let's see, sorry, let's see what version of Ruby you're using. Do what's the command? Do RBENV version, just, yeah, version.
With no dash.
Yeah, no dash. CD back and run that command. Does it? I can't read.
3.0.2.
I'm trying to think. Okay, go back to your gem file. In VS Code.
Yeah.
And then throw in that version there. I'm not sure if this is going to screw it up, but we can just try it. And then delete that RBENV file. Sorry, the Ruby versions. Dot Ruby versions. Yeah, just delete that.
Oh, that wasn't. The hell? I don't know. I just deleted. I might have screwed something else up.
Cool. Now you can try going and doing that CD into the iOS and do the Cocoapods install command. Sorry, it's the pod install. Yeah. I can't like see this. This is like going off my screen, so I can't see what you're.
Here, sorry.
It's my computer screen, I think, or is that working, or at least it's starting to download?
It's doing something.
Okay, let's see if that works.
Right.
If not, the other thing I would have you try, just it seems like the Ruby, like it's looking for the wrong. Like, I don't know why it's looking for 2.74. But you could just do, and I'll slack this out. You could just install that version that it, like, try to maybe recreate a project, but just install that specific version
Right.
on your computer. Cool.
It looks like it's
Alright.
doing something. So
Oh, sorry, what was that?
I said it looks like it's maybe working.
Cool. So I'm going to share my screen. I got an error, it looks like. So that's a lovely error. That's not a fun error. It's not really. All right, I'm just going to try running. Let's see here. Going back to here. All right. I'm just going to, what did I run last command? Let's try running this command, npx react native start. Oh, that's already in use. Okay. I'm gonna quit out of my, so when I ran that first command, it opened up not iTerm, but it opened up terminal. So it's like, it's almost working, but I'm rerunning it. So I'm going to quit out of terminal, not iTerm. If you have that open, it's got like this Metro node on there. I'm going to quit out of here because I want to try. And if you have like this simulator, I'm going to also quit that. It almost looks like my simulator's broken. But I'm just going to run this npx react native start. Maybe should have done the run iOS. Okay, that starts that. Now I'm going to run the npx react native run iOS. You really, whenever I do this, you don't normally have to run this npx react native start. This starts the bundler. That's the thing that pops up like the terminal and like starts to like build your code. But now that's just my terminal, it's not going to open up the terminal because it's running in this one. Cool. So when I ran that npx react native run iOS again, it worked. So it says successfully launched the app on the simulator. Okay, where's my simulator? I should have. I'm going to stop sharing. I don't know where my simulator is. I'm going to stop sharing because I can't find my there should be like an iPhone up on my screen. Does anyone see it?
It was there for a minute, but now it says unable to boot device in current state booted.
Yeah, I have the same error.
Oh my gosh. This is really never this complicated. So it says can't boot device. Oh yeah, okay. Unable to boot device in current state booted. Oh wait, I hit OK. When I hit OK, when I finally saw that pop up, when I hit OK, here we go. I now have this emulator running, or this simulator running on my computer. And like I can like swipe up. So here's the phone. Here's like the phone. There's that React Native app. You know, so I can like kind of treat this like an iPhone. Go to my app. There it is. That's what we want to see. Like if you get to this point, that's like you're good to go. Because let me just show you this, and then I can kind of help debug with some people. So if I open this up in code, I can go to like we have a couple, like this looks, you know, it doesn't look like a create React app because we have like this Android iOS folder. If I come in here now, I have like a package JSON. I have like a index.js. That's going to be different than a React Native index, but it's kind of the same thing where we're taking that app component and we're actually creating, this is how we're actually like mounting this to our phone. And then if I go to like app.js, I mean, this is a very kind of intense starting page, but this is what is on like app.js. So I could just come in here. Maybe just here. Now I can't use stuff like a paragraph tag, like that's not going to work. If I want to do text, there's actually a text component that I have to use from React Native. And like all these components we're using, we have to like import them from React Native. Cool. I'm just going to clean this up a little. It gives us like this weird kind of TypeScript-y code that, you know, it's really not going to break anything. But if I go back to my app, I just changed that to hello world. Now my phone shows that. So this is how we can like start developing. Just gonna like switch this so it's not all TypeScript-ish. All right, that might be Flow actually. Flow is like another, if you ever see Flow, that's another kind of way to TypeScript to give JavaScript type safety. So I got rid of it just because it's a little messy to read. But yeah, so I just have my React Native app. This is just some basic, you know, components, and we would be able to kind of just start writing this React Native code like we would React. And that's what we'll get into Monday. We'll definitely start building out some stuff, but this is where you should, if you want to follow along on Monday with like the emulator running, this is where you need to be. questions? So what we can do now is, so if you're to this point, I would say go ahead, because it's kind of time for a break anyway. If you're to this point where you have this running, and even, let me just go all the way back to, it's like, so I'm just going to change, this isn't, so this doesn't have Git by default. So I can't just undo it. If you get to this point, you're good. You can go take a break, come back at, let's see where we're at like 11:35. But yeah, did anyone get this up right here? Cool. So we got Ruby. I'm glad it's always nice to at least one other person. Cool.
Mine's still building the app, but I have an iPhone showing. It's just like waiting for the app to finish being built.
Cool. That's a good sign. And like building the app does like that. When you run that first like React Native run iOS, it takes a while because it like has to like build the app and like put it on your emulator. So, but once you have it up and running, the development's really quick, and it has like the, hot reloading. So if I come in here and make a change, it like changes it right away. So once you get it up, like the development's nice. And this is kind of nice too, because especially if you have like a wider monitor, you can kind of just, since it's just a phone, you just throw it up like this. Save, updates pretty quick. Yeah, so take a break if you're done. Does anyone have anyone stuck on any of the parts of setup or getting an error? I mean, if you're just waiting for stuff to download, you can take a break as well.
I might have to come back and rewatch this video just because I'm already at 4 gigabytes of memory on my computer, and I need to go figure out what I can delete and things like that.
Do you not have Xcode, Austin?
I do have Xcode.
Okay. One thing that you can delete if you haven't already, and is all of your projects, like especially your React projects.
Yeah, so I just need to go back.
If you have those, because if you have them on GitHub, you can delete them. And then if you ever like want to work on them again, you can just clone them down from GitHub. But because that can't, like this DPL folder, like, I don't know, this doesn't have that much. It has like, because it only has like 2 weeks in here, but this stuff can get big because it's all like that node modules folder. Like, I don't know. I'm trying to see how big this is, but I bet you this is a couple gigs. Like usually when I'm done with like a class and I look at like the folder, it'll be like 20 gigs. It's kind of crazy. So yeah, if you push them, delete it, but yeah, make sure they're pushed up to GitHub first, because don't want to like lose that.
No, of course.
Or you can go, you can go in and like delete individual ones. See, that's for just like 2 weeks, it's 5 gigs.
So if we delete them, do we have to drop the database first and then delete them to like fully delete them?
Deleting this file would not delete the, like, let's say you had like 20 gigs of information on your database, which you wanted on your local machine, but deleting this, because remember your database, like your data living in your database, that's not going to be a part of this folder. So, but I'm sure unless you have like populated your database with like millions of things, it's not going to have that much. Yeah. The reason, like I said, the reason this is so big, it's because of all the React Native, or it's all the JavaScript stuff with the Yarn packages and the node modules folder. So try that, Austin. And then, yeah, I'll throw this video up. Also, this doc, like the React Native like setup, that's pretty good. I just kind of followed that directly. And then if you have any errors, reach out to me.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you.
So James, I got those pods installed, and then I kind of missed this part. I don't know if this is the same screen you guys were getting or not.
Do you want to share?
Yep.
Okay. So that's good. So, and just so everyone can understand what's going on, what happened, for some reason it wanted you to specifically go into your iOS folder and run pod install. That's like running, pod install is like running bundle install or running yarn. It's going to install those packages for your iOS folder. That's why you had to go into your iOS folder, because it's specifically for iOS. So now try CDing back.
Should I close Xcode like it's saying?
Yeah, well, please check. It looks like it was successful.
It just said please close any current Xcode session, so I didn't know if I needed to.
I think you should be good with that one.
Okay.
So if you CD back, yeah, split open two terminals and do on one of them run where's the MPX React Native start. Yeah, it's on these docs. Okay, now that's running. Now on the other one, yeah, and hit OK. Hit OK on that.
Yeah, I did.
Okay, and then maybe that was kind of the first issue that some people were getting. And then on this one, run that MPX React Native run iOS. So the MPX React Native start, that's kind of like when you run yarn start, it's looking for changes. Hit OK with that. The React Native starts looking for changes when you change your code. The React Native run iOS, that builds the app on your emulator and runs that and actually opens up that phone and builds the app on your phone. And that one can take a second.
Okay, but it looks like it's working, so.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Hey, James.
Yeah.
So I got it up and running. I got to that same screen with the phone, but when I went to install Watchman, it told me that it could not install it because I didn't have Xcode or Apple command line tools installed properly.
Okay.
Is that going to affect that?
Yeah. Yeah. So will you share your screen? That probably will might have some. Was this the error you got when you tried to do Watchman?
Yeah, when I tried to install Watchman, that's the error I got right there.
Okay, cool. Will you open up, go to open up Xcode? And yeah, go to locations on this preferences. Was that already set when you got there?
Yeah.
Okay. Where was? That almost doesn't look like an error. And that, you were just on on the Watchman step.
Yeah. Well, I got the rest of it running after the Watchman step, but this step ran that error.
Wait, have you done? Okay, so you built the React Native app.
Yeah, and it works if I do.
I just want to see. Is this where you saw the error though, on this command or?
No, this runs all the way up to the opening of the app.
Okay, I think so. You
So is
saw
that
that like,
fine?
you saw
Yeah,
the
towards the
welcome to
beginning.
React Native.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think yeah, that's yeah.
Okay.
I think you're good. Cool. Does anyone else have any questions or anything?
No, I'm still just waiting for the iPhone emulator to install and the project to create.
It's just taking a while to build.
Yeah, like a lot of my stuff, like installing stuff kind of takes forever for me, I've noticed, especially the brew stuff. That one took forever,
Mm,
but it worked.
Cool.
But Watchman just took so long.
yeah. Yeah. So here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna open up breakout rooms. If you have it React Native set up, you can go into your breakout rooms, start working on your project. I know a lot of you are probably also like maybe in the middle of like downloading stuff or that updating an iOS or stuff like that. So it might just take it. We might need to like, once that's done, you can try after lunch or like just whenever you're ready. And then if you run into errors with this, then you can just ask me anytime today. I do like, if you are for like some of those, maybe you can't update your OS or you just can't free up enough memory. We can do like, if you want to, like for next week, there is this snack.expo.dev. I don't know if you have to have, you might need to log in, like create an account at Expo. Can I just Slack that website out? I guess let me see if I can open this up in like incognito. That's the way to kind of see if you need to be logged in or not. Yeah. You know, if you want to save. It's probably you're able to save without being logged in. But anyway, if you can't get React Native set up for whatever reason, next week you can just use this. It's a little harder to do, but it's still pretty straightforward. Like you just come in here and you can make changes, and so you can definitely follow along. And like you can do multiple files, so because that's something we'll be doing. I'm not quite sure, because one other thing we're going to do is like we'll be adding libraries. I'm not quite sure how you do that on here. No, search agent, like if we wanted to do like Axios. Maybe not. So you might be a little limited. I'm not quite sure. It does have a package JSON. I'm just not sure how we add something here and then install it. But yeah, just get this. If you get up to this point with the React Native app, you're good. I'm going to open up the breakout rooms now. And yeah, I'll be around if anyone wants help on this. So just continue working on the final projects. I'd really say like, let's shoot for really next Friday, because depending on when we do the QA day, which I think is Friday or Thursday, we'll do it the day after, but we're gonna want your apps to be feature complete by like Friday next week. So what we'll do the next day is you'll switch projects and then you'll test the other project, kind of find bugs. So yeah, plan on being done with this by the end of next week. And then week 11, you'll have, will be styling. So it'll be focused on bug fixes and styling. So if you have a couple small bugs, that's definitely fine. That's what you're going to be working on the last week. Sorry, just give me a second to create these rooms. So those rooms are open.